righty, joining us here, A's outfielder Seth Brown. How are you, my friend?
Doing good. Good to be back.
Well, I got to think for you after the season that you had. I know you want to do an off season. You got the family and everything, but you had to be itching to get back after the year you had.
Absolutely. It's kind of one of those things where when you kind of put it all together and you feel it for the kind of the first time and on a consistent basis, and it's something you want to get back to and something you want to get kind of going at again, so you can continue to do it. And that's what I've been focusing on all off season.
You want to know how I know you're going to have a great year?
No.
It's been freezing cold every day. Literally yesterday, when players sat down in the morning, the tarp was flying off, the wind was blowing. We just had rain with Scott Emerson. You sit down, sun's out, it's warm. This just says you're going to have a great year.
Honestly, I thought
you brought the sun out.
I thought I brought the weather with me because there's 5 inches of snow at my house right now.
Is there really?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we had a winter storm blowing today, so I thought I brought it with me down here. So.
Yeah, it is unbelievable. Yeah, but you sit down, and next thing you know, we got the sun going.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Just talking with you off the air, and it's something that we're going to get into a little bit later here, is how really athletic this team is. And with the new rules we talked about with Scott Emerson, you just start thinking about, the running A's. You got a lot of guys, including yourself. You can steal bags like everybody can steal bags. This team was really built on home runs and walks the past few years when we were super successful. But it's kind of like this year may be a little bit different with running.
Well, it's funny, with the rule changes, the game always evolves. And, the type of athletes we have in here, it's really impressive, watching some of these guys go about their business and the way they move around on the baseball field. It's pretty impressive. And so I think we're going to see a lot of that athleticism running around out there this year. And like you said, incorporating the run because of all these rule changes is going to be something that I think is going to take a little bit to get used to get a rhythm for it. But once that happens, I think it's going to be a pretty key element to kind of take hold of. And it's going to be exciting to watch.
Something great for your career last year was to show everybody, hey, look how versatile I am. I can play first base. I can do it legitly. Yeah. Obviously, I can play outfield. That's great for versatility, great for having your career being a really nice long career. But if you had your druthers, if you could say, hey, this is where I want to play, where would it be?
Yeah, it's hard for me to say because I always say I'll play anywhere. I'm comfortable everywhere.
But I'm coming to you. I'm David Forrest. I'm coming to you. I'm saying, where do you want to get most of your at-bats? I want you to show up, not think about, what glove you're using. Where do you want to play?
I've always, when I first came up, played the outfield. So I'd say I have more games out in the outfield. So I'd have to say, the outfield. And just because I've had more reps there, I've had more games there. So, if you're David Forrest, ask me, I'd say, I like the outfield, but it's like I've always said, and I tell everybody this, to me, I look at a spot as a lineup card, anywhere that's going to get me in the lineup, I'll play anywhere. And so I've never really looked at it as, what's my favorite spot? What do I prefer? To me, it's always been, okay, my way of helping is hitting, and obviously I play defense really well. So I know I can play kind of everywhere. So I've always told myself and told everybody that asked, hey, when I get asked, like, where do you want to play? What do you like to do? I always say, I like to be in the lineup. And so wherever I can fit in to do that, that's where I'll play. So I try not to look at a single spot as being my favorite.
Last year you and I did a meet and greet. Was it with Kotze in the Irish pub?
No, I don't.
It was another player.
I think it was another player.
Nick Allen.
Yeah.
It was with Nick Allen. So it was a season ticket holder deal. We went down before the game, and it's great when we do that because you get to connect with the season ticket holders, such loyal A's fans. It's a lot of fun. And as you and I were talking in front of the crowd, we just kind of started talking about, wow, it's so interesting how you have evolved from when you got here to where you were last year is really like the leader of the team. And then, Matt Chapman's gone and that group's gone and you've now become that guy.
Yeah.
Now let's talk even further because you went off after that in the second half.
Yeah.
And where you are now, you're even more that guy.
Yeah.
So what is that like for you?
Well, to me, I've been so fortunate to be around a lot of guys like Matt Chapman, like Mitch Moreland, Chris Bassett, all these guys. So when I first came up, we had a whole bunch of veterans on the team. So I was, and when I first came up and even continue, anytime I'm around guys that have been around the game and have been in that leadership role, I've always asked questions. Being around Stephen Vogt was an incredible help to me. He's an incredible human. So talking to him and just understanding what a leader in a major league clubhouse looks like, and also not necessarily what a leader does, but what does a veteran do? And so being around all these guys, Maddle, I mean, I could go up and down the list of guys that were in and out of this clubhouse, but learning from those guys has helped me in a great way in that manner, because now I know like how to be a veteran, and I don't have a crazy amount of time, but in a role that in a team like we've had last year and this year, and being here, since I've been drafted, I understand the way the system works with Oakland, and I love Oakland. So to me, bringing guys in, it's almost kind of a natural thing for me to want to help the young guys and any guys that's going to be in our clubhouse this year, helping them understand how the A's do it, how the A's work. And for me, I don't like to be a vocal guy too much. I like to pull guys aside if they, if I see something that they can be doing different, and not just on the field, but how to be a professional in the clubhouse and how to start becoming that veteran mindset. I like to just keep going, keep my head down, and show my work, and how I work in the weight room, on the field, getting extra reps. I mean, it's just being around those guys has shown me how to do that. And so I'm so thankful to have been around a lot of those guys, because I don't think a lot of people get that opportunity to be a part of a clubhouse as tight knit and so full of veterans as it was. And so getting able to see those guys and interact with them and how they treated me, just kind of showed me how I need to be as I continue with my career.
Last year was, more of like a survival year. This year, some veterans have been brought in. We've talked about the arms. The bullpen's actually looking really good. I mean, this might be Absolutely. A year where, your leadership will be looked upon more than ever before, as now there's not going to be expectations outside the clubhouse, but I think there's going to be some expectations inside the clubhouse. So now, as there's more expectation to win, we'll need you even more as a leader.
Absolutely. But, the thing that I try to say is, the wins and losses will take care of themselves as long as everybody's doing their part, on the field, in the clubhouse, whatever. I mean, winning's not just shown out on the field. I mean, you have to have the winning mindset and the winning attitude in the clubhouse. All that stuff comes into play. And so for me, I try to really show up, anybody who asks, talk to young guys, this is what it's going to take, and this is going to translate to the field, because once the game starts, when you go out there, there's that competitive aspect to it. It's exciting. I mean, a lot of guys, it's like, hey, this is my first full year in the big leagues, or last year guys debuting, it's a lot, because, last year it was pretty rough for them because they're coming in expected to, hey, this is where we're at. You got to go, 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 go. And, understanding that you got to be able to calm down and understand that it's not just the play on the field that translates. It's everything you do in the clubhouse, in your work. All that comes into play when it comes to winning. And so that's where I like to try and talk to guys about it, because when you're out here on the field, you're just showing all the work you've done and all the work you put in the off season, in the weight room, all your drills you do. So the winning aspect and the success comes from your hard work. It just doesn't happen when you step on the field. So I try to, instill that in guys, when I'm talking to them, when they ask me about it. And I think that's the most important thing you can do with a team, is understand that you're just out here playing a game, and there's that competitiveness to it and that want to win, but you got to trust all the work you're doing, off the field, and that it's translating.
It's just not a magic wand, folks, where you go, boo, and then it just may have worked for Ken Griffey Jr., doesn't work for everybody else. Let's end on this. And I know you don't like to brag about yourself, but your year was really the light went on for you. It came together. When this offseason, did you think, wow, what you can build on? Because I think what you're now figuring out, the power, the consistency of playing every single day, no shifting against you anymore. Have you just kind of thought about what this year could be for you personally, more than just team?
I mean, obviously, when you're sitting there and you're going over your season and you step off the field and you get into your off season, you kind of go back over the season a little bit. I mean, at least I do, and just kind of try and get your thoughts in order of what you thought about it, and, what worked for you, what didn't work for you. And I think for me, the biggest thing was understanding that, I don't have to go hit 110-mile-an-hour line drive every single time. being consistent is understanding that when you go to your work every day, when you step in the box, you have to be consistent with your mindset, consistent with your approach. And I think that's what I learned a lot last year is when you make an approach and you really stick to it and see it through, the results are going to be there. You just have to trust it, and you can't force anything in this game. I think the beginning of the year last year, I wanted to play so bad and I wanted to play well so bad. That you just add all this outside pressure on yourself that is not really there. But when you let go of that and just understand that, hey, you've been playing this game since you were a little kid. The level's different. You're facing the best pitching in the world, but at the end of the day, this is a game you play pretty well. And if you just allow yourself to enjoy it and allow yourself to let your hard work that you've put in just happen, good things are going to happen. And I think that's what happened for me last year is I finally was able to let go of that longing to play so well and that longing to go 4 for 4 every single game. And just understand that this is a game of failure, and we've been taught that ever since you're a little kid, hey, it's a game of failure, but you really don't know what it means to fail unless you do it in front of thousands of fans. And, they all cheer when you fail. It's a different feel. So when you let go of that and that urge to prove everybody wrong, all those thoughts go through your head. So when I was able just to say, hey, this is a game, I'm going to enjoy it. I've worked so hard to get here and now I'm here. Let's enjoy it. Let's work hard, but let's have some fun doing it. And that just it was like a weight off my chest. And I just started to play a game that I've been playing forever.
What he just explained to you folks is the mental side of baseball. All these guys have strength. All these guys have speed. Everybody at every level has that. It's the mental side that keeps you at the big league level for a long time.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt about it. Hey, I'm excited for you. Congratulations on everything.
Thank
and
you
I
so
know
much.
You're a big part of this clubhouse and leadership to turn this franchise around and get us where we need to be. But most importantly, thank you for coming out, bringing the sunshine. Now I know things are going to be good.
I really appreciate it. And it's great to be back. It's great to see you guys. And it's going to be a fun year, and I'm excited.